good? You comfortable?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, bet.
Yeah, I'm all good.
Bet.
Somebody back there or something?
Back where? Behind you?
Nah,
Behind the camera?
on the phone.
Nah, that's the camera.
Oh, I know, but I thought you was thumbs up to somebody.
Nah.
Man, I don't see no. I see Big. I see Pac. I don't see no Jay around here. What's going on? You good, bro? You all right?
You don't see Michael Jackson there either, do you?
No, I don't see no Jay-Z in here though. You got LeBron in here somewhere? I see
Yeah,
Jordan.
got LeBron right there.
Okay, so yeah, we
Yeah.
gotta get Hove in here, man.
Yeah, we gonna.
I'm gonna get you a Hove.
All right, bet. That's your favorite rapper?
What?
I figured that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you some Hove.
Imaginary players. That's
What?
what you was playing when you was pulling up?
Nah, I wasn't playing imaginary players. I was playing 30 is the new 20. I was playing that.
By who?
Jay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go figure, right?
Yeah.
Let's get into it, man. There are people who coach a game, and then there are people who coach people. Welcome back to another episode of the Mental Giant Podcast, where we have real conversations about mindset, growth, purpose, development, and the people who help shape the next generation. Today, we right here in Lima, Ohio, talking with a man who has spent years on the sidelines, but his impact reaches far beyond the basketball court. Our guest today is Mr. Quincey Simpson. Now, if you only look at the numbers, then you're going to see the wins. You'll see the championships. You'll see the regional runs. You'll see a 26-1 Lima senior season in 2015 and a trip to the state championship game. You'll see a coach who has spent decades developing basketball players and helping young athletes reach levels they once only dreamed of. But tonight, I don't want to talk to Quincey Simpson just about basketball. I want to talk about the man behind the basketball. Because when you're a coach, you don't just influence how a young man plays, but you influence how he handles his pressure, how he handles failure, how he handles and responds to adversity, how he treats people. And sometimes, whether he believes in himself or not, that's what we're here to do. We're here to enlighten people. Coach Simpson has also experienced the game from a completely different perspective, coaching his own son, Xavier Simpson, who went on to become Ohio's Mr. Basketball, and a tremendous college career that he did have. So tonight, we're going to talk about, like I told you, the wins, the losses, fatherhood, leadership, mentorship, developing young men, the pressure that comes with being a role model, and ultimately, legacy. This is the Mental Giant Podcast. And Quincey Simpson.
My man.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So I want to start off, when you look back at all of the players that you've coached, what do you hope that they will remember about you?
Honestly, just the love. And I can put different variations in front of the term love, right? Like compassion love, genuine love, but more importantly, the tough love and why. You know what I mean? Growing up here, we've had a lot of players, a lot of athletes who have done some phenomenal things throughout high school, while they were in high school, but never had an opportunity to do something beyond high school, right? And so I just wanted to come in and put my footprints on giving our kids just an opportunity to believe that they could do something and they could be something successful beyond high school, right? So that's really it. It was never about coaching pros. It was never about nothing else outside of me wanting these guys to be a better man than myself, to be in a position where they could be great fathers, great role models, great husbands, and they knew and understood what fighting for something through adversity moments was. A lot of the guys have embraced it and have done well with it. Obviously, you know, the score ain't undefeated. You know what I mean? And that's what anything that we do. No, I'm not undefeated with the score, but the winning aspect is definitely, it's a huge gap. So I feel like my job, our job, me, my staff, the people who poured into me, I feel like we're definitely, you know, beyond the right track.
Okay. Who is Quincey Simpson? When we go back into, you said you want, you know, the young man to be a better man than you were.
Facts.
Who were you? Take me back. Take me back.
So a lot of my players don't know who I was when I was in high school, in middle school. But I think for the most part, they all do know, but they may not fully understand, you know, where I came from, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, single parent, 2 brothers. I was the youngest. And I'm not going to say we grew up, you know, poor or we was from the trenches. You know, we grew up on College Street, Bradfield Center. You know, my area was Baxter, 9, Fro, Am, Cappies, West Side for sure. And so, you know, we were by far not financially secure. You know, I watched my mom struggle, and my definition of struggle isn't today's people. I watched my mom work 24 hours one time. Not one time, several times. I watched my mom work 24 hours, full day, double shift at one job, left there, went to another job. And so me and my brothers felt like we got the house to ourselves. We ain't really understanding the why. We're not understanding what she's doing, because this wasn't for her. You know what I'm saying? This was for us. And so I watched my mom, when I say struggle but make it happen, tough love. You know, I was a knucklehead. You know, I was a knucklehead all through school, honestly. It didn't really click until something happened, right? And I'll get there here in a second. But you know, I specifically remember in the 6th grade, I was really wilding. You know, my mom was like, "Yo, hey, it's time for you to go live with your dad." You know,
Boys in the hood.
yeah, it's
Trey.
no real. You know, honestly, she said it's time for you to go live with your dad.
Yeah.
And me and my dad, that's my guy. It's like my best friend. That's my man. You know what I'm saying? Like this, you know, we didn't always have the greatest relationship. We wasn't really super tight growing up,
Right.
but I don't have time to worry about what didn't happen, right? Like that's my man, you know. And so, but my mom sent me to live with him, and I hated it. And I hated it for all the wrong reasons. He was putting something in me, and I was rejecting it. And so I was with my mom, and my mom was pushing us into sports, you know, just wanting us to be a part of something positive, right? Go down to the Bradfield. We playing for the Sharks, which was right behind the Bradfield. And so she was just wanting us to be involved in you know what I'm saying, in sports. And when I went to my dad, Pops wasn't he was in the building decks, cutting grass and changing oils. And I was just, it was funny. I rejected all of that. You know, now my dad was okay with me playing sports, but he was one of those guys where, hey, if your room ain't clean, you ain't playing in the game. And I specifically remember, Jamar Butler's dad was my football coach.
Yep.
Milt Butler can attest to this story. I was 11 years old playing for the Sharks, and my dad told me I couldn't play. And I called Milt and told him I was playing, come and get me. Milt pulled up, had no idea. Pops told me I wasn't playing. I jumped out the window. I jumped out the window, jumped in the car. And but yeah, it was just for me living with my dad for that year, because it only lasted 1 year.
That was
it was like hell at the time, but when I reflect back, if I would have embraced it, it would have made me a much better man than I am today. Like I don't really know how to fix nothing.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like I'm
No, I
always
don't.
paying.
I don't.
I don't know how to. Man, I got to call
Wow.
somebody over, and thankfully I got people in my element that I can.
Yeah.
But man, I watched my pops and my brother come over and put my dishwasher in, and I'm just standing behind him like, I don't even know what. I couldn't help him if I wanted to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And but nah, man, it was so it was a struggle, but for all the wrong reasons, because I wasn't bright enough to really grasp what he was pouring into me. You know,
Why you think you weren't bright enough
right now or back then?
back then?
Because I wasn't receptive. I didn't want to, like, I was cutting the grass, doing the whole thing, but when he was like, every Saturday morning over there was like, get up, 8:00. Like, ain't no sleeping past 8.
He was providing you with structure.
He was providing me with structure, and I had no understanding. Understanding is the best part of life. I never had no understanding of the why. I'm looking at my little brother Jabo. He just popping up, jumping right in, but Jabo really wasn't a sports kid. Like I'm looking at my brother like, you don't play basketball? Yeah. He looking at me like, you can't change a tire? You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but nah, it was, I was there for about a year, and I ended up calling my mom back like, hey, can I come home? You know what I'm saying? And she was like, yeah, and I went back and still didn't act right, but she took me back. You know what I'm saying? So it was good. It was good, but no, I went back and I still had my peaks and valleys. One thing that did kind of like persuade me and motivated me was basketball. Honestly, like I was always good during basketball season, so I knew what I was doing.
Okay.
Right. So like before the season, I was good. During the season, I was good. After the season, I was hell. I was hell on teachers, classmates, and so hey, then I ended up gravitating and getting involved in and just like devilish stuff, man, like joining gangs, selling illegal narcotics. It ain't nothing that I'm proud about, but at the same time, something that I will be open with my players about.
It's a testimony.
For sure. And so my mom, like, I spent time in jail when I didn't play my junior year. I was locked up. And so when people hear me, when my guys over the years, when they hear this story, they assume like, I was out, I got arrested, this, that, but it wasn't that. Mm-hmm. It was my mom she found my stash, and my mom turned me in. And obviously it was what could I say? It was tough as a 15-year-old, teenager who think they know it all. To see my mom do that, I didn't really understand the why, right? Like I'm 15, like, Mom, you just not only called the police on me, you gave them my work. It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? And I had to go away for a minute. And Lima Senior went to state that year. I was supposed to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't even around to be a part of that. And again, throughout that time being away, incarcerated, I was really, my mom never missed a beat every week.
Yeah.
Visits. But I still felt some type of way, if that makes sense, because I'm still not understanding the why of why she did that. My oldest brother, Warren, was in the military at the time, doing well. Yeah. My middle brother, Sean, was at Nevada playing basketball, doing well, and then here I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, here I am doing this stuff. And so, man, like it took me some years later to really reflect back, self-reflect, and then really understand.
And be able to take accountability.
Yeah, be able to take accountability and just have that understanding of why she did it, because it saved my life. Because I know for a fact if she would not have done that, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I don't even know if I'd be alive I was kind of like I was wilding to that point. It's definitely a testament. A lot of my players, it's probably hard for them to really see that part now, but I was just out there just doing goofy stuff, man, not really understanding. So my mom, like honestly, my mom really did what was best. She knew what she was doing, and man, I can't thank her enough for that. Seriously. Yeah, I could really go way into it more, but that's the gist of it, for sure.
When was basketball introduced to you?
It was kind of it's in our family.
Okay.
I had uncles that played. Again, we stayed at 426 South College. It's the Bradfield Center. It's the Bradfield Center courts. It's our house.
Okay.
Well, it used to be growing up. It used to be Marymore. Then it's our house. You know what I mean. So, basketball was introduced to us. It's coming out the womb. You was kind of like an outcast if you didn't hoop. And so we had the Bradfield Center next door. And inside, outside. We had the Phillips, which was 1 block away on Baxter. They had an indoor court in the garage with the chain nets. See, y'all too young, y'all know.
Yeah, we don't know.
With the chain nets, and so man, we just got we was able to just get it in, and so basketball was more of a neighborhood thing. Okay. Greg, Simpson stayed across the street from us. Our front doors faced each other. You had Malcolm Martin, guys that I look up to, helped me along the way with the game. Right around the corner, like it was just the Penns, the Secessions, the Phillips, crazy ass Paul Curtis thought he could hoop. He running around, but no, man, just the whole neighborhood, man, of in that era, in that element, being at the Bradfield, no trainers, you just play with guys older than you, let them beat you up a little bit, and that's how you. Number one, got your respect, and number two is how you got better.
Okay. Who were some of the people that shaped you, just coming up in life?
Man, a lot of people, man. And one name I'm gonna say, and I'm not ashamed to say it. It's Dave Turner. Whatever he had going on, we don't need to get into that, right?
Right.
But he definitely, Dave was the first black man I ever seen in a suit. Black man I ever seen in a suit, and so like. We didn't really understand at the time, but he was like a deputy warden at the prison. And so he was leaving the prison and he was coming to the Bradfield in the suit. Wow. He was running the Bradfield per se. He was the guy that basically ran the Bradfield. And so he definitely had a big, imprint, on helping me. When my mom found my stash, she called 3 people: the police, Dave, and she called Radar. You know what I'm saying? My uncle. Great. She called them 3 people. And they came and was trying to really like talk her out of don't get the police involved. But I'm sitting there being, disobedient. But yeah, Dave for sure. Radar obviously. He's I think the thing that I do for the youth, whether they play basketball or not, even when you was a Lima senior, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get all that from Radar, from being honest. Okay. I watched him do that for us. I watched Radar wish he could have a son, but he had 2 daughters. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't had to say it, I just know. Wow. It started like, it started with, on Kibbe Street in the garage, introducing me to the weights, playing AAU. Like my first real like AAU experience was with Team Lima, was with Radar. He's poured like there ain't many words to describe how much he's poured into me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so like I watched him take from his own family, to give to us, to give to me. He's driven me all over the country, college, camps, whatever was needed, and so, I can never, that's the GOAT, that's the.
Shout out to Radar, man.
For sure.
Shout out to Radar.
That's the GOAT, But yeah, Radar for sure. Other people that's poured into me, man, it's just been so many people. You know, my brother Warren, obviously being the oldest. You know, my dad. I don't know we talked about him, but you know,
Yeah.
my pops for sure. My brother Sean. You know, Chris Jackson.
Yes, sir.
He's on my staff now. You know, he's working for me now. But nah, he was another one that had a major impact on my life coming up, along with you know Radar, the whole Team Lima thing. Um, Man, so many people, man, teachers. You know, it's a blessing to see. You know, when I go to church to see Miss Carter. You know,
Yeah.
she was my third and fourth grade teacher. You know, and I remember the impact that she had. You know, that she had on us at Lowell.
Yeah.
Again, so many people, man. I mean, it starts with the foundation, my mom. It's, you know, it obviously start there, but you know, it's been so many people. It's probably so many people that I cannot name, but the huge influencers, you know, obviously my parents, you know, Radar, Dave, my brothers, Chris, and then all the guys in our neighborhood, because for the most part, all my brothers, everybody in the neighborhood had brothers their age, but not a kid my age, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that makes sense.
Like Greg, my brother Sean age, Todd, my brother Warren age.
Yeah, and then
You
it
know what
was
I mean?
just
Terry had Sean, Mark, Warren age. You know, Malcolm Martin was in between Warren and Sean. And you know, you had guys like Plug, who's no longer with us. Paul Curtis was over there. You know, all the secessions and the pins. We grew up. I mean, I did have my man Ivory and that era, but I was a couple years older than those guys. You know, Lighty and TT and those guys. So we all ran together growing up, but there was really nobody that was like my grade, my age per se. Um, but yeah, I mean, just the whole West Side of Lima, man, really, really shaped me and molded me in who I am today for sure.
that's what's up.
I forgot one name on there.
Oh, go ahead.
And it was crazy because I talked about a lot of people, but you know, my first coach, his funeral was today. You know what I'm saying? Danny Upshaw. That was my very first coach. He coached me in the fifth and sixth grade. You know, and it's crazy because I'm gonna tell you a story about this. Danny coached. You know, we had a nice little group over there, um, and so like he's always been around. If that makes sense. Coached me in the fifth and sixth grade. Used to have me over at the house. You know, I used to want waves when I was young. Danny used to brush me and Edward Bell, um, and his stepson, which was Darrell Johnson. Danny used to brush our hair for hours, and I never could get waves. Um, but no, Danny, he passed away, man, and he was so proud of me getting a job at Lima Senior. You know, just a quick story. Radar used to take us to the prison, you know, and play basketball when I was younger. You know, this is when you could allow juveniles to come in there and hoop.
Really?
Yeah,
That was a
Radar.
thing?
Yeah, when I got out of jail when I was a junior, that's kind of like when Radar was just kind of like, hey, you with me? It ain't no going back.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like we would go, me, Cape Smack, Radar, Smoke. It just bunch of older guys would go to the prison to hoop. I mean, the best brand of basketball. I mean, you get chills walking in there, and I'm a 16-year-old. I'm 16,
Wow.
don't have a clue, but this particular situation, we go to the prison and I see Danny in there. He doing time in there, and it messed me up so bad seeing him in there. I couldn't even play. Like, not couldn't play, miss shots. No, I couldn't even check in the game. I ended up telling Radar, I'll never forget this. I ended up telling Radar I had a stomach ache, but it wasn't that. It was like I'm looking across the gym, seeing, my guy, my elementary coach, a guy that's poured into me. And we talked a little bit afterwards, and he ended up talking to me about, because he had knew where I was at, about making right choices. So to fast forward, Now I'm coaching at Lima Senior, freshman in JV. Still not the varsity, but Danny, he's out doing well. He's living in Fort Wayne. And so every time my team's playing Fort Wayne, he's there every game, like every game. You know what I'm saying? And, his nephew, Ruben Flowers, as his nephew.
Okay.
But he's at ain't missing a game. Always talking to me about how proud he was of me. And then I get the head job. I get the varsity job, at Lima Senior. And I'll never forget the text that he sent me. And then we chopped it up over the phone, obviously. And he was just, if you know Danny, he was just a guy that was, number one, he was real. If I would have to say somebody that made me stand on something at a young age, it was Danny. You know what I'm saying? And they just buried him today, and it's all in fruition, man, on how things circulate. But yeah, Danny had a lot, especially at a young age. So I was glad to keep him around, even when he was living in Fort Wayne. When he lived in Florida, we still was able to communicate for sure.
You all right?
Good.
All right.
Yeah, I'm good.
Thought you was about to cry.
Man, come on.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
I ain't exempt from crying.
Nah, I was gonna let you cook, man.
Yeah, for sure.
When did you know coaching was something that you had wanted to pursue?
That's tough. I coached my first team when I was 18. I coached a 15-year-old AAU team. And so even, we used to get our faces beat in. But then I was able to go to school, and then I came back and I was still coaching AAU, but I ended up, Mark Gaffney gave me my real first coaching position. And so I went to interview with him thinking I was going to get West, right? The middle school job at West. And so I'm hyped up in my mind because I'm thinking I'm going to be coaching West against South. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. I hope I get the job so I can coach in the West-South game. You might be, I believe you might be honestly too young to remember, like, really feel them rivals, West and South, the Tigers and the Titans. I went to South. I got kicked out of South. That's when I was living with my dad. And then I ended up going to West. But I'm thinking I'm going to be able to coach in that rival game. And so when I met with Coach Gaffney, he asked me to be the freshman coach, and I was disappointed.
Of high school.
Yeah, at Lima Senior. He asked me to be the freshman coach, and I was like disappointed, not realizing he was setting me up. May not be for a varsity job, but he was just setting me up for some experience. And so I took it, and I did the freshman for 4 years. Then I really started to see, like, hey, one day I could possibly be a varsity coach, right? Did JV for 3 years, and then he left. Gaff left, and I just knew I was gonna get the varsity job at that point, right? But I didn't. I was extremely hurt. I thought I did everything to get it, but I didn't. But I didn't let it define who I was. Continued coaching AAU, continued doing my thing, helped the coach that they hired. I helped Coach Allen for 2 years, and then I ended up going out to Rhodes for a year, doing the Explosion for a year. Still was coaching with the Panthers, that black and gold.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
You remember when my mom dropped me off out there?
I do not.
Yeah.
I do not.
Yeah, I do.
What happened? Tell me what happened.
So
it don't sound like you're going to tell me a good story.
It's not a good story. So, first of all, never played a game, by the way. Never got in a single game. But my mom, she dropped me off to Martin Luther King Park.
Facts.
And she said, your ass about to play football.
Right.
That's exactly what she said. I was, I had to have been about, we had Jar there. So
But you was the same age as Jar or X?
X. I'm the same age as X, but I'm younger than X.
Okay.
So we had Montez Robertson.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Oh, so
had
that was your age. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, got out there and it didn't go so well. I'm just gonna say that it didn't go so well, but it did provide me with a sense of I don't have any brothers,
Right.
so it provided me with like a sense of brotherhood.
Facts.
In
That's what it
ways,
was. Pantherhood, but it was a brotherhood.
most definitely a family. So yeah, I gained from it. I just didn't play any games.
Right.
I didn't score any touchdowns. I didn't even touch the football, but I got in all the games for free. So
Right.
that was cool.
Right.
That was cool.
Yeah, we watching those guys even before I became a part of coaching with the Panthers, just watching how they did things, the structure, how Skip, how he did some things and let his assistants also have a big impact and a big imprint and a voice. That also helped me become more like assertive to want to be a coach. And so, I didn't get the job the first time around. I thought I probably should have. I just grinded. I just kept my chin down and kept grinding.
So did you start off coaching football or you started off coaching basketball?
I started off coaching basketball.
Okay.
But then I started coaching
at 18. Okay, right.
Yeah,
at 18,
yeah,
you was
for sure.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. The football thing, honestly, man, I never even expected to coach.
Wow.
I just took my sons out there as a dad, like, yo, you guys about to play football. And one thing I knew, they were small, but one thing I knew they had was heart, because they grew up on the push-up game.
Yeah.
One hand push-ups, the whole nine. And so it's funny that my ex, he played at 7.
Wow.
He was on the team at 7. But when I took my oldest son out there, shout out Smoke, man, it's his birthday today too.
Shout out to Smoke.
Yeah, happy birthday, Smoke.
Yes, sir. Happy
Love.
birthday.
But when I took him out there, he was small. You know what they made him do to get on the team?
What's that?
They made him wrestle another kid.
Wow.
And so I'm like, I ain't really tripping.
Yeah.
Because he been on the push-ups for years.
Yeah.
And it went good.
That's good.
He was on the team.
That's what's up.
He was on the team. But nah, so I was just out there as a father. I was just out there just making sure that they doing what they should be doing. And then Skip, he told me, he actually told me to get in the picture with the team. I'll never forget. He like, Coach, you a coach. You out here, you talking, you a coach.
Wow.
And from then on, it was just, they embraced me. Because again, I played for the Sharks. I was the West Side guy. But now, I'm out here with the black and gold on the South Side.
Wow.
But nah, those guys embraced me, man. And the years I spent with the Panthers, man, it was good, But I had to give it up, man. We seen Bobo coming.
Yeah.
We had to get out the way, man.
You know them Gators.
We seen the movement.
Yeah.
I did. If nobody else did, I seen the movement, and I was already into basketball.
Yeah.
Let me get out the way, man. Bobo coming,
get out
man.
The way.
He coming. He coming for real.
And he came. He did come for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Facts.
You've coached for years. You won conference championships. You made regional runs. You reached a state championship game. But I'm more interested in what people don't see behind those accomplishments. Before we get into a plethora of questions that I have, I'm going to start off with this question. Is there a player that you wish that you could coach all over again, and why?
We talking Lima Senior? Is this Lima Senior or is this AAU?
We can talk. Whichever way you want to go.
So I think the target of this will probably initially reach more people from Lima, obviously, because that's where we are, that's where we're from. So I'll just keep it at Lima Senior.
That's fine.
But yeah, and what's crazy is I've only told one person this. I've told Dentez Walton this. It is a person that I really regret how I coached him. I regret how hard I probably was on him.
Sorry. The question was is there a player that you wish you would coach all over again?
For sure. This is where I'm going.
Okay.
I wish I could coach him all over again, because when I self-reflect, now I look back, I wasn't as patient. with him. And so it's Deshaun Clare.
Wow.
It's a no-brainer. It's Deshaun Clare. Deshaun was really good, man. He was really good. I was like waiting for him, going to the games at West. We was waiting for him. And again, you got to realize this. I was younger, so I didn't have the same level of patience that I do now, right? And so back then, like a lot of my older players will see, they'll come to workouts and practices now, and they'll say, Q, you gotten soft. It was not really gotten soft. It's like I know how to move with the times, and I know how to be a little more patient. But the message is still getting through. But Deshaun was really good, man, and he didn't really understand what hard work looked like outside of the game, all the extra work. And so when he wasn't per se buying into that, because 90% of them don't buy in. You have to get them to buy in. I was already ready to just, Heisman, you know what I'm saying? Just stiff arm him away. But he played. We kind of bumped heads, not in a bad way. Player coach, we always, that happens. That comes with the territory. But looking at him as a junior and especially his senior year, he was, man, he could shoot it. He was big. He was strong. He had high level IQ, but I was already at the point where I was already writing him off. Like I was already Khalil coming. You know what I mean? I was already Jordan Rollins,
Yeah.
But Deshaun was like, man, he was a kid that I really wish I could have coached him different. And if I could rewind it, if I would want to do it different with anybody, it would be with him. It would be with him, man. And that's just one that always, like when I sit and just reflect back on teams that I've had and players that I've coached, that one, even like, and we see each other a lot and it's love, but even when I seen, it just come up like, damn, Q, like you should have did better.
Have you ever expressed that to the son?
I never have. You know what I'm saying? I never have, and I probably should. Not only to him and his pops, because, his pops was major, and wanting his son to be done right. And I'm saying I'm not like by any means that I doing wrong, right?
Right.
It was just a point where it was like, hey, you ain't doing it this way, that way, right now. Hey, we got Jordan Rollins right here, and we got Khalil. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like, man, 3 guys could have figured it out together, and yeah, it was just Deshaun was good, man. He was, when I look back and just think of how his body and he was good. He was good.
Who has been the best player to come out of Lima Senior?
Oh man, you can't ask me that, man.
I gotta ask.
When they put these little social media debates about Lima, who the best, like, come on, man. Like, I've seen people like fall out with people over these things. You know what I'm saying?
It's not
like
that deep.
People really get sensitive over that subject, and I can't it's opinionated. You know what I'm saying? Like, you asking me, I'm always going to ride with my son. Like, that's common
knowledge.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to ride with X. However, if I have to be a realist, and I would say it if X was sitting right here, Greg was the one. Scoop was the one. Because, like, I'll say this. There has not been another Greg since Greg that came through Lima Senior. Like, we'll never, and I shouldn't say never, it'll be another 50 years before you see another kid jumping like Willie Foster. Wow. That's not happening.
It's not.
Nah, that ain't happening. Greg was the and one mixtape before the and one mixtape. I don't think people came to see Greg really play, right? I don't think they came to see Lima Senior play. I think they came to see Greg put on a show. You know what I'm saying? And I mean that. I was there. Like, I didn't get to experience it his senior year, but I was there his junior year, sophomore year. Like, Greg was, and I seen Greg do some stuff that I have not seen. He did some stuff at 6'1", 6'2". Like he man, like it was different, man. Now when we start talking about, and Greg, like the thing is, Greg could also guard. Greg could defend.
Yeah.
He could sit. He had sit down defense as well. So yeah, man. I mean, Greg would probably be the guy. You know what I'm saying? But I think X will be, and it's a blessing to have guys with the same last name.
Yeah.
You know,
Are y'all related?
yeah, Greg, my cousin.
Okay.
Like I say, we grew up, front doors faced each other on College Street.
Yeah.
Greg, a lot that I do with my kids, I've seen Greg dad do with him.
Okay.
I watched it. I watched him late nights outside hooping on the rocks, taking him to LCC back when they had courts behind the school. So we seen it. Greg, we all at the Bradfield, Greg in Columbus. Greg doing some high level stuff at a young age, man. And so, but it's a debate. When you talk about, obviously the most dynamic scorer is Greg, and you obviously cannot forget about Andre Reed. People will obviously. I didn't get the chance to see Dre. Dre is my guy. Shout out Dre Reed. Shout out Greg too. But I didn't get a chance to see Dre. But he didn't play with the 3-point line. And people have said that had he played with a 3-point line, he would have the most points. I played against Dre as I got older, and the thing that he could do was shoot. He was shooting all threes. So.
What about the Hutchins?
Lima Senior?
I don't know what school he went to.
Or just because Aaron, or you talking about Aaron?
I believe it
Aaron
is.
went to LCC.
Okay.
Aaron is my age. I'm a year.
Yeah.
We the same age, but I graduated at 17.
Okay.
So,
okay.
But then Aaron was definitely one of them ones.
Okay.
For sure. Aaron did it at a high level. Really, one of them ones. Yeah, I thought you were referring to.
No, I was.
I'm a senior.
I didn't know. I've heard of Aaron Hutchins' name, but I didn't know what school he attended.
He went to LCC. He one of them goats. He for sure is. If you start expanding out, you for sure can't forget, Jamar Butler.
Right.
You know what I mean, Jay Butt. So I'd rather just keep it Lima Senior base. You got so many of them, man, with Greg and X. Dre, there's just so many of them, that you really can't, but I think when people really have a open mind and they be all the way honest, most people would probably say Greg for sure, but me, I'm gonna say Greg, but I'm also gonna say X.
As you should, man.
Absolutely.
As you should. What does it take to build a winning culture in your program?
A buy-in. You gotta, it's gotta be all we, not me. And in today's sports, you get a lot of me and less we, and I'm seeing it. And so it takes us, starting with me as the head coach to, create a foundation, create a culture where people buy in and they understand standards and expectations. And I think for me, it's a little easier for me because I'm sending kids to college at all levels for free, so it's easier for kids, but you still get some that want to, shed left a little bit. And again, that come with it, but to create a successful program, you got to have buy-in. You got to have great guys around you at the middle school level. Your assistants at the high school level have to be knowledgeable. They also have to be bought in. It's not, it's, I may be the face of this. It's not just me. I've had a lot of assistants. My middle school coaches have done an amazing job. My coaches at the high school level, they have done a phenomenal job because I demand a lot. We always in the lab. I just feel like if you keep our kids busy, it's less negative energy that they can subject themselves to, out there. And so, we want to create an environment that's safe. We want to create an environment where we understand adversity, and when that wall hit, we ready to climb it. And at the same time, we want to create an environment that we understand that it's BAB, it's books and basketball, and it's in that order. You know what I'm saying? Um, my teams, since I've been the coach, we've done nothing but destroy the classroom as a program, and that was number one. Um, I probably can count on one hand how many kids I've had ever ineligible at any level, because it just doesn't happen. You know, we don't even do study tables anymore.
Yeah, I remember.
You remember the
I
study
remember
tables?
study
Yeah, you
table.
remember.
Yeah.
You know, we used to do study tables when y'all was in school, before school, after school.
Yep.
We don't even do study tables anymore because kids understand the standards and expectations.
Yep. So, what does discipline look like in your program?
Accountability, just being accountable. And, you know, I always say that it's easier to do it right the first time. Because if you got to repeat it, it's not going to be the same. That could be inside the lines, outside the lines. We got a lot of teachers at Lima Senior who support the players, who's willing to go the extra mile to help them. And so, again, everything that we do in our culture is based on standards and expectations. It's the way we do things, and there's an expectation. It's a way that we expect things to be done. You go outside of that, and obviously you get dealt with, you know, in an orderly fashion way. But you know, it's been great. Yeah, it's definitely been great.
What's the difference between coaching talent and developing talent?
Um, I think the difference is, so you always got to develop. You know, you always have to develop. I think in today's sports, I think the difference may be sometimes coaching talent kids can be a struggle because they already feel like they're there. They already feel to a certain degree that they have arrived, and they feel like they can't add anything else.
Almost entitled to?
Oh, for sure. That's the world we live in sports.
Yeah.
You know, that's why my AAU days is over. I'm no longer coaching AAU for that reason. We just dealing with so many entitled people, and typically when you get an entitled kid, that start where at? That start at home. You know what I mean? That start at home. I don't have to really deal with that at Lima Senior. I've been blessed to have, over the years, to have parents who have supported me. They may have talked bad about me at the crib, which is expected, but openly they've allowed me to just, you know, and I just think if we do things, like even if there's something that a parent may disagree, is, you know, my door is open.
Yeah.
We can talk, we can figure it out, because I just genuinely want this young man to be successful in life. You know what I mean? But coaching a talented player, you know, sometimes, and again, like I don't have that issue. I think because of everything that I have built, but I have a lot of coaching friends all over, and they are so afraid to coach guys with talent hard because they feel like he'll leave, he'll transfer schools. I don't have that worry that I'm going to coach you hard and you'll leave. If you don't want to be a Spartan, I respect it, I support it. It's still love, you know what I'm saying? But over here, this is how we're going to, you know, and I've had some really, really talented kids, and in their defense, they have allowed me, for the most part, they have allowed me to coach and push them hard, because again, like we spoke about earlier, they know where it's coming from. It's coming from love, you know. So I think that's the key piece. Like in today's sports, you can't get on a kid too heavy and go, you know, take it there, and then you go home, he never hear from you. Our kids, I'm at my players' houses, they at my houses, we group chats, we on the phone, we pranks, it's love, you know, it's love.
2015 through 2016 Lima Senior team is a huge chapter.
Facts.
Xavier Simpson was Ohio's Division I Player of the Year that season, averaging 30.2 points per game. Take me back to 2015, man. Take me back to that season.
Man, the city was on fire. You know, you had said 26-1. We were actually 29 and 1.
Okay.
But, that was, again, total buy-in. But I think, there's a saying in basketball, great teams are player-led, good teams are coach-led. That was a great team because it was player-led. And when I say player, like ideally, X was the head of the snake. But people forget, like, Fat Man, like, he had a voice. Jar had a voice.
Ruben.
You
Rico.
was about to say Ruben. You couldn't tell you couldn't tell Ruben he wasn't better than X.
Yeah.
All they did was debate who had the best defense, who could jump higher, who was faster. Ruben, hey, we playing such and such, the best player. Ruben would argue with the coaches because he wanted to guard.
Yeah.
That's just who he was. You got, Rico didn't talk a lot. He just was a high flyer, athletic run. Jay Thomas didn't talk much at all, lead by example guy. Like ultimate glue guy, right? Whatever you need me to do, I'm doing it. And so that was just a total team buy-in, man. And I've had some teams similar to that, but they definitely put the city on fire. I mean,
What made that group different?
what made that group different was easy. But they all came up together.
Yeah.
I coached them 4th, 5th, 6th, like we ended up picking Rico up in the 7th grade. Like we was playing AU, we was getting mollywopped all over the state. The OBCs, all Ohio, Cincinnati Lakers. Like we was getting killed.
Yeah.
Getting beat by 50 4th grade. Getting beat by 30 5th grade. 6th grade. But we walking teams down. Like we go to Indiana getting smacked. So by the time the 7th grade come, we like losing by 6. We losing to these same teams by 4. We like, hey, we make a couple layups and make free throw. So then 8th grade came, Rico grew a little bit, Ruben grew a little bit. We big dogs now.
Yeah.
We all over the country, and those guys was together, man. Since they were, I want to say maybe 3rd grade, and it was good to see. I think that's what makes it special.
What was the locker room like?
Man, I mean, if Boy was doing comedy, if Fat Man wasn't trying to fight somebody, but knowing he wasn't gonna fight nobody because them his brothers,
right.
Big X family. Trying to be demanding, like it was to the point where Fat Man hated to run. His conditioning was terrible. He did it, but it was terrible. So X and Ruben would like get on him, right? And I mean like this close, pushing him, making him run. And Fat Man used to talk crazy to them.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, these your brothers, man. You're not gonna wait till we get to the locker room.
Yeah, I was there for a few of the.
Yeah, you was around.
Yeah.
But was other. What else is special about that group? I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm gonna say it. We kept 2 sets of boxing gloves in the locker room.
There we go.
So if you had an issue, we're gonna give y'all 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where it wasn't no issue, but guys just wanted to put the gloves on. Man, they had sparring matches in the locker room. Man,
a big family. Big family, man.
For sure.
What do you think people misunderstand about that season? If you think they
I don't know. I don't really know if people really misunderstand. That season was also special, man, because all the gear we got, it's like we was always eating somewhere every week. Somebody wanted us to come to their place, whether it was their house, whether it was their restaurant. We didn't get it done, but leading up to that, the season itself, man, it was special. Yeah, it's definitely one of the special ones.
When you look back, how difficult was it? Because you described these different personalities with like Ruben and Fat Man and X. How difficult was it getting them all on the same page or getting them all to get on the same direction? This is what it is that we're trying to do.
I think it was easy only for the cause that everybody knew what lanes they were traveling in, right? And so Ruben, he knew I'm a football guy. I'm going high major D1 ACC football. Bone Jay Thomas, he knew I can hoop. I'm a football guy, right? Like my sport was August, September, October. This per se, this is export now. So I'm finna get on board. I'm gonna let him drive the car, but I'm finna get on board. Then you had Jar, who like, yeah, I'm a basketball guy, but I'm a junior, so I can wait my turn, you know. But then you had Fat Man that was like he was a matchup nightmare. He could do everything with his size. And so he was like obviously our second best player, our second leading scorer. I can't say second best because Ruben he'll be texting me when he see this,
Right.
you know. But
Yeah, I think you gonna have a few text
you know,
messages
but
anyway.
no, Fat Man was like it was crazy because you say X averaged 30, but Fat Man averaged 19.
Yeah.
But people like may not even remember like his 19 was huge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he was getting his, you know, 6'3", could handle, bump you, nice body, jumper. You know, Jay Thomas coming in, same build as Fat Man, jump out the gym. It was, man, it was special, man. That year, I mean, you know, the thing about it is we had guys at the end of the bench, like, you know, Jaleel and BJ, you know, Keaton, Upshaw, but they down there just waiting their turn. They ain't sitting down there unhappy, mad because, you know what I'm saying, because it's not about them. They just sophomores, just waiting their turn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so now in today's sports, you very rarely have that. Now we have it at Lima Senior. We, for the most part, you know, guys want to play, obviously. But our bench be rocking. Them guys be engaged for sure.
When you look back on the 2015-16 season, is there anything that you would change or do different?
In the season, I will probably say no. In that state championship game,
Yeah.
I'd probably change a little something.
Yeah.
But again, you don't realize it's happening while it's happening because Jay Thomas was cooking.
Yeah.
Bone was cooking.
Yeah.
Bone was cooking. You know, and he should have stayed in. He should have remained. He should have stayed in much longer.
Why didn't he? What made you?
Because we just kind of, you know, again, I was close with all of them because they all played for me since Panthers. You know, we end up snatching Ruben. He played for the Bulldogs, but we end up getting him with our basketball team. But they all was with us from day one, so it wasn't a fact of a lack of trust. It was more so, you know, Fat Man didn't have his best game. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Fat Man didn't have his best game, but I'm thinking, I know him. It's gonna click.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's gonna click, and so that's really, I mean, that was really it, man. But you know, I would have not saying that I would have taken Fat's minutes away. I'm saying I would have strategically found a way to implement Jay way more because, man, he came in, he was cooking for sure. He was cooking, but again, we lost Westerville North. You know, they had 3 Division I kids, so we lost to a good team for sure. Well, I think we let one slip.
That was a season. Yeah. That was a great season. I was happy to have experienced it. Whew, Quincey. You coached your son Xavier at Lima Senior. Michigan's official bio later described Xavier as having played under his father and noted that he finished high school with 1,986 points. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
And he also was Ohio's Mr. Basketball in 2016. Coach, how do you coach your own son?
You know, it started with Smoke, my oldest son,
Okay.
Deshaun. You know, it's crazy because me and Deshaun's relationship kind of went south a little bit because I was coaching him, coaching for the Panthers, coaching for AAU. You know, now we in high school. I'm his coach. At the time, I was the JV coach. He's now playing for me.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Milt Butler gave me a jewel, and I was always getting on Deshaun harder than I was the other guys. And I was doing that for the cause that I just wanted the other players to see I'm not showing any favoritism. Like, I'm getting on him for stuff that I probably wouldn't have got on you about. And so Milt Butler came to my practice one day. And after practice, he said, you can't do that, because you're going to end up, you and his relationship is going to end up, it's going to be some division, right? I was on Deshaun, as a young guy, like, I'm on him at home. I'm on him at the gym. Like, I'm always on him. And so, like, it's a true story. He get to high school, I'm still on him. He like, Dad, I'm playing soccer. I'm like, you, what? So it's not registering the why. You feel me?
Why?
And so I'm like, damn, soccer. Now, he played soccer as a young, but it was for fun. Yeah. So he's like, I'm playing soccer. And so I'm like, damn, I gotta go to these soccer games. You know what I mean? Like, so, all right, cool. Season come, he played basketball. But then after the season, I'm like, hey, it's time to get in the lab. Yeah. Dad, I'm playing baseball. I'm like, what? Now, we ain't never did that. You know what I'm saying? So now, again, I gotta self-reflect. And so what he was doing was he's just getting away from me in terms of the basketball part. He just getting away from me. And I done already created a situation where he no longer wants to be a part of. He really loves the game. He really wants to hoop, but he don't want to do it for me because, number one, I don't know how to control my tongue in coaching him, and I am overly hard on him for the wrong reasons, right? And so the good thing about it is, if we fast forward, like, he'll tell you, like, hey, I should have listened to you. I should have embraced what you was doing for me. I didn't see it at the time, right? But now he doing it with his kids. And he ain't overly aggressive on them like that, but he locked in to his sons, and they definitely some killers. Yeah. They definitely some killers. But so now when I'm coaching X, I remember the conversation that me and Milt had, and it's just to the point now. Hey, I'm a coach, right? I have a son on the team that play. I can't, like, if y'all feel like it's some favoritism, but X played for a group of guys that knew better because we all came up together anyway, right? So you was around, like, they knew, like, but again, with that group, it was more or less yelling and screaming at Lyman Senior because X and Ruben and them was taking that over. Yeah. They was leading. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But now we fast forward to Baby, my son Noah. Yep. We call him Baby. And so and then we only fast forward to him, we shifting the generation and how people feel about daddy coaches. Yep. And so now it's not tough coaching him at all. You know what I mean? Like, it's not tough coaching him at all. What's tough is people assume like nah, like, if you ask anybody in our team, they're gonna tell you he one of them ones. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I had to really sit him down and get him to understand, like, hey, if you miss a shot, somebody gonna say, oh, you shouldn't have been in because you the coach's son. Right. If he missed a shot, it's cool. If you turn the ball over, you shouldn't have been in. You the coach's son. You only playing because you the coach's son. If he turned the ball over, it's no big deal. So those just come with it. Yeah. Those just come with it. I think Baby gonna have a phenomenal year, and then when he's done, he's gone. I don't have no sons on the team. Now it's like, now what? You know what I'm saying? So, it's all good though, man. It's all good. And I got a group of guys now, like, they don't believe that. Like, even if their parents or people around them, not even necessarily parents, just people in general. If they at the mall and then somebody, they know, because it's like, nah, Baby, it ain't even close. He's our hardest worker. Yeah. Like, it ain't even close. So they see the work that he's putting in, and when I say hard work, I just mean everything. Like, we got a group of kids, man. With this group, these dudes is gym rats.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, these dudes.
I see them on Facebook, all over Facebook.
Baby's a gym rat.
Yeah.
Sean is Sean Foster been a gym rat. Like, he started it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you'll think you beating somebody to the gym and you'll pull up and he just leaving. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Sean get it in.
That dedicated.
You know, yeah. And so what people have been able to see in terms of him, like, nah, this ain't easy. And so now you got AJ putting in that work, Taco putting in that work, Zah putting in that work. Like, it just spirals down. So they see the dudes up top. They see the guys that's doing it, and that's what it takes.
Yeah.
You know, so I know we kind of got off topic, but
it's all right. Yeah. Absolutely. I absolutely like where you went. We gonna slide back on topic, man. Has Xavier ever gotten upset with you?
He probably be upset with me right now. You know, nah, but yeah, that's just, you know, that come with it. That just comes with it, man. And so, you know, again, going back to Milt, because he had Jamar, so he'd been through that as a father. And so what, you know, when X got to Lima Senior, his junior year, it was practice, it was to the house. We was talking about basketball, watching basketball, talking about basketballs, you know, and then I started to see, like, it's like, this is kind of getting like overwhelming, because all y'all relationship consists of is basketball, right? Senior year, I kind of just told myself, we're going to just do basketball when it's basketball. At the crib, we ain't talking basketball unless you initiate that conversation. We just going to kick it, father, son, you know.
Was that an important task to?
It was hard to maneuver through at first, facts. But it made our relationship stronger, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But now with me and baby, we don't even talk basketball at home. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's love. You know what I'm saying? We don't even talk basketball at home.
So what I'm seeing is you got Deshaun, right? It's real tough on him.
Mm-hmm.
You learn from your mistakes, or, you know, the trials of you was being hard on him. Simple.
Very hard.
Very hard.
But I was being hard on him because you got to realize this. I didn't have a dad teaching me that stuff.
Right.
So I'm assuming this is how it's supposed to be.
So you're learning
as I go.
As you go.
Facts.
That's what's up, man.
Yep, facts.
That's what's up. Did you ever worry about putting too much pressure on Smoke, or no, I'm sorry, not at Smoke, for Baby, as you have with both Xavier and Deshaun?
No, because we didn't know Baby was gonna turn out to be where he is today.
Dude blew up.
Yeah, he was the short, pudgy kid, just hanging around basketball, just being on teams because of me.
Yeah.
You know, it was my program, just being a part of it. And then, you know, once he was in the 8th grade, we had a real, you know, COVID, 2020.
Yeah.
We had a real heart-to-heart. And then we just kind of like, I told him, like, yo, if this is what you really want to do, then it takes work. You can't continue to get free passes because I'm your dad and I'm a coach, X your brother. Like, at some point, you're going to be expected to do a certain thing. And if you're not able to do it, then you can't be a part of it, right? And so, you know, he didn't play that year, middle school. He didn't play. Mm-hmm. He was at Lima Senior every day. Shout out to my guy Fink, Coach Fink. He had him in the weight room, had him in the gym. When I say killing him, it kind of like sometimes used to hurt me to watch what he was doing.
Wow.
But the thing that stood out was that he never complained, and he kept coming back. And so then that was the first thing he had to do, was change his body. You know, get all that, you know, what they call baby fat, get all that off of him, right? And then, you know, as a freshman, you know, I never even expected him to play varsity. The deal was not even the deal. Like, mindset, we thought as a staff, he would play JV, dress, but then Amari, he tears his ACL. Ja'Kale Cotton breaks his foot. So now it's like, next man up. You know what I mean? And we didn't have the best year that year. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think that also helped him see like, hey, this might be something that I could probably get somewhere from doing, right? And
Right.
so just kept chopping wood, man. That's my whole thing, man. Chop wood, chin down, just work. The rest will take care of itself. And now, here he is now, and that's what it is with him. And he's been a vocal leader, been a lead by example guy. So that's really it.
When I ran into him and I told him, hey man, keep doing the right thing.
Right.
And he was like, I will.
Yeah,
so
facts.
That's what's up, man. When did you know that X was gonna be something different?
I mean, I didn't really know. Because he's like, at a young age, he's like, the guy that can really handle the ball and do some things. And, it's funny because we was with King James. I'm now at this point, I'm coaching AAU with LeBron's program. And we was in Detroit. And I'll never forget this. We had some studs on our team. Like, we had some guys. And I was walking out with Drew Joyce. We was walking out to his truck, and we was getting something, and we was talking about we were talking about the team that we were playing next, and we were just talking about the team and the players. And I remember specifically talking about a couple guys on the team and what they could do, because we had some guys, man. And then Drew said, he was the first one that said, hey, like, your son is the best one on this team. This team can't go nowhere. But he wasn't even scoring at that time.
Okay.
But then I started to see like everything is going based off him. Like the ball is going where it needs to be, big shots. Like defensively, I started to really see. Yeah. And I remember when X was a freshman, we started talking about some of his goals that he wanted. No, a sophomore, or it could have been one or the other. He started talking about some of his goals. That he wanted to try to reach before he graduated high school. And one of his goals was he wanted to be Mr. Basketball. And so I'm thinking to myself, man, like, is you crazy? You got boom, boom. I'm to myself, I'm naming like 5 or 6 of them play on our AAU team. How you gonna be? And then like, again, chop wood. Like, and I've seen him, man, like this could be a whole different episode of a podcast, but I've seen him get cheated, and I mean like done wrong at some camps, and I just chin up, I put it back on him. Like as a father, I know he was done wrong.
Yeah.
But I was never one to, cause a scene or say nothing crazy. I just say, you know what, hey, we just gonna go back home and you just got 1 or 2 things you can do. Work or find another sport to play.
Simple.
That's all we gonna do.
Simple.
And you go from being, unranked and unheard of to being a top 50 kid by the time you graduate. The work paid off. I mean, I wasn't happy with his freshman year at Michigan. People don't even remember that, right? Like 6 minutes a game. And I ain't talking 6 straight minutes. I'm talking 45 seconds here, minute 15 here, 2 minutes here, 30 seconds here, 6 minutes a game as a freshman. Then after the season, he called me. He like, I had my exit interview, with Beeline. Shout out Coach Beeline, like one of the best.
Shout out to Coach Beeline.
And he said, man, Beeline said I ain't show him enough. He don't know if he ready to give me the keys. So he gonna bring in another grad transfer guard. And I could just hear it in his voice. I could hear how mad he was, right? Now, if he mad, what you think I am? Because we done had all these other schools that we could have went, and it's like, I was the true definition of a transfer portal before the transfer portal. I bounced around so many different schools. So I was just gonna make it my fact not to have him do that, right? Yeah. And but I was mad. I'm talking about I was vexed, and I couldn't. I made myself a point not to let him know how upset I was. Didn't call the coaches, none of that. But just, hey, and then he said Beeline asked him, he had to do 1 session there for summer school, obviously. All the players did, but they had a choice to do both sessions or they could come home. And he said, he told Beeline he wanted to come home for that second session to work out with me.
Yeah.
And shoot, man, when I say we grinded, we grinded. And, to make it a little faster. So now he's in his sophomore year. This is crazy. It's 3 point guards there. It's the freshman incoming point guard, ex sophomore, and the grad transfer.
Okay.
So they playing 3 point guards. They're everybody getting X starting.
Yeah.
The other 2 guys is getting just the same amount of minutes. It's weird to me as a dad and as a coach, right? And so I never forget they playing LSU.
Okay.
And they in the Maui. They playing in the Maui Invitational. I'm over at my mom's house. We just watching the game, and X is playing terrible. He playing bad. He having a bad game.
Yeah.
Right. He having a bad game. You know, he ain't making shots. The guy he guarding cooking him. He's just playing bad, and I have to admit it. So they lose. The very next day, he not starting no more. It wasn't even, and as a coach, I'm just saying like, man, it ain't even a practice in between. So in my mind, I'm thinking they was waiting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they was waiting for you. And so I told X when they got back from the Maui, because now I'm like, hey, this is what we doing. I said, in practice, do not demonstrate any bad body language. None. I said, I want you to compete at a high level, go at everybody's neck in practice.
Yep.
No friends. No friends in practice. Be first at all drills. You know, I'm like, because X, I'm gonna tell you this ain't high school. You know, this shit gonna come around. The college season is too long.
Yeah.
It's gonna come back around to you. And if you sitting down at the end of the bench during games, bad body language, you ain't engaged, when the opportunity come back and start knocking, you ain't gonna be ready for it.
Yep.
So he had to sit like 10 games. This is what people don't even remember.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now they playing UCLA. I'm at my mom's house again because we had a game at Lima Senior on the road. They had 12 o'clock game. UCLA, they getting popped. They getting popped at home. They put X in. Opportunity. It's gonna come back. Be patient. Man, he started cooking. When I'm saying cooking, playing defense, cooking, scoring, they come all the way back, go to overtime.
Oh yeah.
Now he in, right? I never forget. I want to say it was Dan Collison. You know, it was like 15 seconds left. Michigan was down 2, but it might have been 6 or 7 seconds left on the shot clock. What's crazy is I got the video, you know what I'm saying, at home.
Yeah.
And so shot clock running down, he went to pass the ball. X deflected the pass, went down, scored, tied the game up. They went into overtime and they won, right? Now that's the sophomore year. That's the middle of the season. He started the rest of the year. That's the same year they went to the national championship game, right? The point is I'm making, nobody remembers them 10, 11, 12 games that you didn't play, that you barely played.
Yep.
You know what's crazy? I'm gonna let you hear this. This is crazy. So, and I had it saved because I want like Jamar can understand this.
Yeah.
Travis Walton can understand this. But there's only so many people that can really understand this until you experience it. Listen to this. Just listen to that.
6'7" freshman from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Number 4.
Hey, that's the national championship. That's the Final Four.
And forward, a 6'11" junior from Berlin, Germany.
That's how you say Lima, Ohio.
Guard 6'6" sophomore from Chicago, Illinois. Number 1, Charles Matthews.
I'm sitting right there. Like, come on, man.
And guard 6' sophomore from Lima, Ohio. Number 3,
Man, what? Man, that still give me chills. and it's like I say, Jamar experienced that.
Yeah.
Trav experienced that. We got 3 people from right here
Right here, man.
that played in the national championship game. You know, and 2 of them, Travis and Jamar, done poured so much in the X.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm tripping. Tyler done experienced that. We got 4 people.
Yeah.
Tyler Eulis done experienced that. And all of those guys, and he really tight with Tyler because they a little closer in age, right? Like he's super tight with them, and they all have poured and gave him things that I couldn't because I never played at that level.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? And so we got 4 dudes here, man. Jamar, Trav, Tyler, and X played in the Final Four.
Man.
From Lima.
Astonishing.
You know what I mean? So
It's astonishing, man. Yeah, that's... All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about the young man of today. What are young men struggling with today that adults may not see?
That's a very good question. Fatherhood would be, or a male, I wouldn't even say fatherhood, I would say a male presence. You know, a lot of these young guys, and I'm not talking players, I work at Lima Senior.
Yeah,
you know,
we just
I'm talking in general.
Yeah.
You know, what's alarming to me is that, to me, to talk to a student, and one of the first things I'll ask is one of the first things people ask me growing up: who your people? You know, who your dad? I've heard I don't have a dad. I've heard I don't know my dad, and so then I like, no, we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Who your dad? Like, no, Q, like, I don't know who my dad is. And it may seem a little far-fetched, but you would be amazed on how many kids, how many boys lack the daily presence of a male. So therefore, when a male has to be involved, right? Once they get to that level, the male that now has to be involved is probably who? A disciplinarian. So there's really some division at that standpoint. You know, I could say, you know, the accountability is lacked, but all that stemmed from not having, I'm not just going to say fathers. Obviously, we would love for it to be fathers, but male presence, like somebody that's, you know, teaching them daily life skills on a day in and day out basis. We just don't see that.
So what happens? So what happens when you have that male presence? It may be an uncle, it may be a cousin, it may be whoever, and they come and they try and hold your children accountable, but then not you as a parent, but in general, people as parents can sometimes take that and basically make it like, hey, this is my child, don't you worry about them. And how do we navigate through that?
You know, I don't have the answer for that, only for the cause that it's the culture we live in now. You know, the old saying, it take a village. That's not true. No, that is true, but the buy-in from the parents won't allow that to be true.
The buy-in. You keep saying the buy-in. You got to have the buy-in.
Because I would be a fool to say my daughter success. Shout out Kayana.
Shout out to Kayana.
You know, Bowling Green graduate, master's degree. I would be crazy to say, oh, that was just me and her mom. I would be crazy to say my sons, that was just me and their mom. So many people, like I just told you, poured in the X, poured in the smoke. There's so many people that we allowed to pour in and to have an effect on our kids. Now, what we see is what you just described as I don't want nobody saying nothing to my kid. You know, when I was coming up, and you probably heard this before, but this is the honest truth. You could get a whooping from somebody around the corner. Yep. Wasn't no cell phones in that generation. No, this is in the 80s. They would take you home. They would take you, walk you to the house, tell your mom what you did.
Is it true y'all would get another whooping when y'all got home?
And you got another one. And your mom would thank that parent, right? Imagine, and I don't even really want to say me, right? But just because I'm a coach, people know me. Not saying that it would be accepted, because it wouldn't be. But just imagine this neighborhood right here, some little kid come down here, throwing rocks at cars, cussing, and you disciplined him and took him home. Man, you might end up in jail. Yeah. Or he may end up in jail.
Or worse.
Or worse. And so, like, I think if we can ever get back, I just think that we, and I'm saying we, because I'm a part of it, we have gotten soft as parents. Like, how many kids walk to school? Lima hasn't changed. Lima hasn't changed.
I walked to school, rain, sleet,
How many
snow.
kids? I mean, I watched Lima Senior. I very rarely see kids walk to and from school. There are some, but you would be amazed. I got basketball players. I ain't gonna call their names out, but they live 4 blocks from the school. You can't walk home.
Yeah.
It's the world we live in. You know what I mean? And again, like us parents, we have made it way easier for these kids, so that when they have to grow up and be out on their own, it's going to be much more harder.
How do we fix it?
It has to be a generational fix. But to answer that question on how, I don't think you can. Wow. Because we are too programmed to just only worry about ours and not everyone else's.
What's one thing you wish more fathers would understand about their sons?
Let them be whoever they're going to be. Don't strive to live through your kids, through your sons. We've seen a lot of fathers that, I have, and I've coached a lot of different levels of basketball, outside of just Lima Senior, right? And so you can very much detect just the tone of dad is talking, just the words that's coming out of his mouth, and you gotta let your kids grow up and be who they're gonna be and support that, right? I think that would be extremely, extremely important, and that would definitely keep the relationship, keep it strong as well.
What do you think young men need to hear more often?
I love you.
That's deep.
Yeah. We people, it's funny because, people from outside of Lima, they think it's funny to hear my players tell me they love me, and to hear me tell them I love them. That's normal. People need to hear that. You'd be surprised by how many students don't hear that on a regular basis from a parent, that they love them. And I'm not saying that they don't, but our kids need to hear that.
I agree. All right, we're going to move on to legacy, and I know we kind of passed the time frame here, so we'll make this real quick. What does success mean to you now?
Just seeing the fruits of the labor, just seeing the guys that I've coached. Some of them are now married, some of them have families, some of them work, some of them pros. I just think that when you're doing it that way, it's a reflection of who you are and what you've tried to do and what you've done. So it's definitely not about me, but again, there's a reason for everything that we do, especially at Lima Senior. There's a reason for everything that we do. You may not understand it right now, but when you're 25, 26, 27, it may take you 30. The light bulb will register. It'll turn on. And it's good for me to see. I seen Ruben earlier today.
Yeah.
It was good to just lay my eyes on Ruben, right? It's good to see Trey Cobb being a college coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a guy with, his dad just passed, but grew up without a father. Only two guys that was in his life is, myself and Bobo. He wasn't supposed to make it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Trey wasn't supposed to make it. He wasn't supposed to make it. Not only did he make it, he had problems at Northern Kentucky towards ACL. He wasn't supposed to make it. Kept chopping wood. It's a funny story about Trey because he didn't go to Lima Senior, but he was one of the ones.
Yeah, he was.
Trey got in trouble his freshman year at Northern Kentucky. Coach called me. I'm sending him home. It was a holiday weekend. I think it might have been around Labor Day. I'm not real sure, or it might have been Thanksgiving. He got in trouble. He said, "Hey, Q, I'm sending him home. He gonna have to make a choice if this is where you want to be, and if it is, he can come back. If not, he can stay home. Yeah. I don't like his attitude. Blah blah blah." So I told Trey, I said, "Hey, X was a freshman. They all, freshmen at Michigan. I called Dantez. Hey, what's going on?" Dantez kept it real. Said Trey was on some nonsense, but I didn't want him here. Why? Because I didn't want Lima asking all the questions. Yeah. Why you home? Why you in this school? You got in trouble. So I said, "Hey, don't even come home. Go to Michigan. Go with X for those few days." He did that. Went back to school. Kept grinding, chopping wood. Hurt his ACL. Kept chopping wood. End up, graduating. Went and played. Had another year left. Went and played. Now the basketball stopped, right? So now what? Let me jump into this coaching lane. Me and him talked. I gave him a ton of advice. He's a Division I assistant coach. Trey Cobb.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, kids, don't look at me like I'm about to be 51. It's an age gap between between myself and the kid that's 16. Man, look at Trey. Don't look at X. Only so many people can be pros. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Look at Trey Cobb. Look at Dantez Walton. This is the testament for guys that, hey, ball stop bouncing. This I can move over into this lane and do something else. So yeah, man.
What's the biggest lesson that fatherhood has taught you?
Biggest lesson? Have no regrets. You're gonna make mistakes along the way. Don't nobody have the blueprint on what it is to be a perfect father, but do right by your kids, so therefore you don't have to have any regrets later in life. So I'll give you an example. So Xavier, X was supposed to go to Xavier originally.
Okay, Xavier.
We already had that hidden, kept secret. That was already done.
Why? Why Xavier?
They had recruited him the hardest. They had been recruiting him since he had won the state title at the LCC. After that, they had been recruiting him the hardest. So we all knew, even coming to Lima Senior, he going to Xavier. We're not going to say anything.
Right.
And what's crazy is they offer. Well, let me chill on that. Yeah, so what's crazy is something happened, and I was going to move to Cincinnati. Yeah. His mom was going to move to Cincinnati. And I ended up telling X, I was ready to get the shirts X at X. We was, you know what I mean? Yep. So I ended up telling X, listen, man, don't do this for me, right? If you want to go there, let's go. Let's fully on board. But don't do it for me, because I'm gonna be good, right? Like no matter what, I know how to chop wood. You know what I'm saying? I know how to get stuff done if I need to, right?
Right.
And so I said, because what I don't want, we talk about regrets. I don't want you to get 30, 31 and going there, it didn't work out. Could have had a bad experience, didn't have a good career, and now the age that you are now, 27, 28, 29, you know what I'm saying? And now you like, damn, I did this because of my dad. And then I ain't really want to do it. I did it because of you. And now you holding that, and now you holding that grudge against me mentally, and now I'm having regrets. So I said, hey, don't do it for me. I'm good. And then fast forward, didn't do it. And then Michigan came in late, and the rest is, what it is.
What do you want your children to say about you when it's all said and done?
It's simple, man. Like, my dad was there. Whenever I needed my dad, he was there. My boys, I just want them to say my dad put enough in me to be a better man than him. So I want my boys to be a better man than me. My daughter, I got 2 daughters. My oldest daughter, Kayana, like, I've never told her no to nothing. She's 32. I've never told her no. And she's amazing. Like, firstborn, I look up to her. She's done a phenomenal job as a mother, carries herself like a woman. I have to give a lot of that credit to her mom. I'm not a woman, so I don't know how to raise her to be a woman. I can just put little things in her. But I would just love for my kids to say, not only was my dad there for me, my dad looked out for a lot of other people as well, for sure.
For sure. What's something that you still are working on personally?
Getting closer to God, for sure. Being consistent with, my emotions. As men, as black men, we have a high rate of not being able to control our emotions at all times. Trying to be more even keeled, but the number one thing is obviously being closer to the man upstairs, for sure. And I think as that transpires, everything else after that is naturally going to come into the fold.
You spent your life teaching young people how to become mentally tough. Who taught Quincey Simpson how to become a mental giant?
Like we said earlier, all those people that I named, but if I had to put that on one person, it's a no-brainer. It's my mom.
Oh, mother,
Yeah, my mom, Lorna. My mom, absolutely. Absolutely. I've watched her do some stuff, man, that I can't talk about crying. I watched her go through hell and still show up. Never miss a game. I watched her move and change her whole life. Move to California. Honestly, probably getting away from my crazy self. I watched her move and go out there over 20 years, grind. I watched her move back. Like, man, my mom ain't many more special.
Would you mind giving a little message to your mom?
Not would I mind?
Yeah.
That's natural. My mom just had a birthday a few days ago.
Oh, yeah, come on.
I'm a little salty because I got her a gift and I didn't get it to her as fast as she wanted. So she went and ordered the same gift.
Oh, man. Oh, man, come on.
So she told me to take my gift back. I said, nah, you take your gift back.
Yeah.
I'm giving you my
gift, yeah.
But nah, Mom, I mean, everything that you've done for not only me, but Warren and Sean, especially me, because I was the hard head. I truly, truly appreciate you. My aunts, my Aunt Jan, my Aunt Harriet, my Aunt Cynthia, my Uncle Hank, no longer with us. My Aunt Diane's no longer with us, but my Uncle Wes, my Roanoke peoples, man, like, we got a really, really close family, man, on the Pug. They all Pugsleys.
Yeah.
My Simpsons, my pop side. The Simpsons is mad love too.
Yeah.
But honestly, man, my mom is what you've done. And I think that's why so many of my friends, my players, all exes guys, I think that's why they love being at your house, love being around you. This is me because of you, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, she definitely created. I mean, look at y'all, man. Y'all, all of y'all, y'all great, just great people, man. And you know, I just want to tell you personally that I appreciate you. I didn't have my father. I still don't have my father. He never even met his grandchild yet. Grandchild will be 2, September the 12th. You were one of those guys who were and still is a great role model. And I appreciate you, man. There's so many people out here, so many, from parents to children, that appreciate you.
I appreciate that.
So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming here. I know you busy. You got a lot got a lot going on, got a lot to do. But you took time out to come here and sit with me, man. I appreciate you so much.
Had to, man.
Yes,
to.
sir.
It's
Thank
love. You know it's love.
So, man, appreciate you.
Oh, man. How long we go, man?